Hey guys, morning. How you doing? Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast. Always a pleasure coming to you. On this podcast, we discuss issues of personal development, of success, of happiness, of building wealth, of creating something from your passion, your potential, and using that to serve the world and using it to serve you so that it can give you the freedom to live the life that you choose, the life that ultimately fulfills you, the life that you will feel to be worthwhile, that is stripped of regrets, less regrets as possible, so that you can feel you have a sense of purpose and you have contributed, and your place and your time here on earth would have been worth it, and it would have been worthwhile. So we answer questions that we get from the work we do in personal development, whether through our coaching sessions, whether through our social media work, our blog, our email list, that sort of stuff. Wherever we talk to people, in any way that we connect with people and we get feedback, we use that to do this podcast at scale, so we can actually help other people who are going through the same stuff, who might go through the same stuff somewhere down the road. So this question is about business, and the topic is, I've always wanted to start a business, but most small businesses fail. I have a 9-to-5 job, but I have this business idea and this thing that I'm passionate about, and I've always wanted to do it. But most small businesses fail. I don't want to fail. What are the likelihood of me succeeding? And it is a good question. We get bogged down by statistics all the time. Most people, most players that go to the league, most players that start out wanting to make it to the league never make it there. How much percentage of this happen? Most people don't get to their goals. 94% of people don't make money in network marketing. All that stuff. There's just always figures that people use. 80-20 rule, all the statistics. The first thing is that you have to get out of the statistic game. It is a distraction. It is what most people and what average people get caught up in. You're not average, you're not most people. You have to accept that for yourself, and you have to decide that that is not me, that is most people. You have to separate yourself. Most people are at the bottom tier of average. That's where most people are. They just live there. They're looking for the first level of comfort, however short-lived or fictitious it is, to settle. That's what the majority does. Then there's another set that want another level. Like people who want to do middle class and be okay, and they manage to figure it out. Just living at a decent level and not going after their potential, but going after status quo. What is the norm for people in my profession? What is the norm for people who do the type of work that I do? What is that norm? And they're going for that. And if they're able to do that, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 children, the picket fences, a minivan and a SUV, and 3 vacations a year, and go out to dinner 2 nights a week, that stuff. If they can do that, that is okay. Then there's another set of people who are high achievers, who are going for it no matter what, all out. They have their life in it. They're spending their whole self on it. You have to decide who you are. If you are, kind of model here and, fiddle here with this and that type of person, and not so sure, not so confident, or not so all in, then that's the result you will get. Because we talk about small business in a way as if the business is what's doing the business. But it is the person that matters. I've had at least 20 small businesses fail full on. That's okay. Businesses do fail. Ideas get redundant, competition gets in the way, all sort of government policy, all sort of stuff get in the way. So what? So what if your business fails? What you need before you start to think about a business, the first step is you must become an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, then you will transcend the idea of starting a business and you will get to the level that you're a business person. So the business person don't just start a business or is doing a business. The business person is in business. So if 10 businesses fail, they'll go on to another one. They'll find another way to do it. They'll find other avenues that are working. The guy who just have a business idea and he think that, okay, let me make some money and leave this job and, maybe I can make this money, I can be my own boss. Well, he probably has not graduated. He or she probably have not graduated to the position of being a business person or an entrepreneur. So they get that result. They get the result that people who dabble gets. They get the result that people who are after the money and the paycheck gets. But the people who want to build a business, they might not get the result in this business or in that type of business or in the second type of business, but they are after the result and they will not stop until they get the result. They will find something that they'll nail, or they will do it well enough to the extent that they would have gotten so much knowledge and so much experience and made so many connections and build so much resource that they would be able to do something great in any other area that they venture out in. So that's the first thing. You don't want to be a person who have a business idea that they're pursuing. You want to be a person who is an entrepreneur, who will take the risk, who will find a way, who has that desire, who has that drive to go out there and do it. That's what you want to be if you are going to get out here into the world of business. It's tough, like everything else. Like sports is tough. Any level or anything in life that has a sphere of greatness and excellence also comes along with a certain level of challenge and difficulty. Learn that. If you want mediocre, even though mediocre is difficult, but if you want something excellent, you have to be willing to go for the difficult challenges that comes along with it. There will be difficulty if something has tremendously desirable results. If there's such a phrase, then the difficulty factor becomes higher. So you have to get out of the business idea that you're thinking about and start to say, what are the qualities of a true entrepreneur? And you start to do your research on that. And before you even start to explore the business idea so much, start to understand yourself and know what it is going to take. No use jumping out there not fully comprehending, or at least not 80 to 90% wrapping your head around what it's going to take. Most people and businesses fail because they don't know what it's going to take to do it. So when they get knocked down 17 times, they give it because they're like, no, this is too hard. I can't do this. It's not for me. And they get into that negative loop and it takes them out. That's it. They're done. They go back to their comfort zone. The people who are true entrepreneurs are people who decide that this is my life. It's like I was born with this thing, like someone who was born with one leg or one hand and they have to figure it out, or no hand, no leg, and they know that this is their life. Everything else will have to happen with these variables in place. That's what I do. I have this fixed variable of the desire that I have to be an entrepreneur. It is fixed, it is in me, it is what I do. I told my wife that they will take me to the grave as an entrepreneur because that is who I am. Some people are not sure because they are entertaining all other sort of ideas and distractions and influences. I don't have time for that. I don't entertain those stuff because if I do, I am going to be miserable because I would be operating against who I am, my true nature. And that's the most disgusting and uncomfortable way to live. When you're living in a mode and a mold that is not you. So when you decide that this is your thing, this is you, this is who you are, then it becomes much easier. Not saying it won't be tough, but it becomes much easier to fight the odds, to beat the odds, to hang in there, because that's the entrepreneur game. You will have to stick it out. You'll have to hang in there. Other thing why most small businesses fail is because they're not scalable. So people get out there and they don't have the real entrepreneur mindset. They don't understand what running businesses are all about. And they get out here and they set up this thing, which they're pretty much working for a business, and they're locked into working for that business. They are maybe skilled professional electricians, plumbers, barbers, hairdressers, and they do that without any knowledge or idea or desire to scale, to franchise, to open the next one, to find a way to expand the one they have so they can build revenue into that thing that is independent of their physical time. Because that's what a business is supposed to do. A business is supposed to make money without you physically having to be there every single minute operating it. I understand that you're a plumber, you have to do the work, but until you reach a point where you have 10 other plumbers doing the work for you, where you're overseeing it and you do it if you want to, not because you have to, then your business is vulnerable. Because if you're sick, if your health goes bad, if you can't make it today, if you get 10 other jobs, if one job is taking you too long, then your revenue get affected every minute. If your revenue is tied to your time in such a strict way, then at some point in time it will become difficult for you, because you'll be capped at the number of places you can be and the amount of output you can put out in a specific period of time, in a day, in a week, in a month. And that locks you in, and that's a recipe for failure, because it's only a matter of time before it starts to get really difficult for you to carry on that. That's the second thing. And that is also intertwined with the final point why small businesses have a tough time. And that is, small businesses people tend to think that they can wing it. Like, they don't need to know anything more. It's okay. I go here, I do this, they pay me this, I work for myself, I have this skill, I can do it well, I'm all right, and they're doing it. And they go on, and they go on, and they go on until technology, competition, policies, economic environment, the market squeeze them out, and they wake up one morning and don't realize that something new was mushrooming, and before you know it, their revenue is cut in two because of competition, because of technology, because of some invention, and they are left behind after 15 years, and they are running out of time, running out of money, running out of energy, and they really don't realize what has gotten to them. So it's a guy running the restaurant, or the guy running a bar or a lounge, and he don't realize that he needs systems. He's not tracking his numbers. He has no marketing plan. He has no scaling plan. He has no efficiency and productivity plan. He has no management systems. And before you know it, he can't scale. And some other guy who has the same restaurant find a way through technology and systems to be able to put out or have an output of 500 dishes or 500 turn over 500 tables a day, and you are in the same position, in the same market, with the same potential, and you can't do that because you have not found a way to learn how that is done. You are just there sitting on your laurels, don't want to learn, don't want to get out of your comfort zone, don't want to improve your skill sets, reluctant to try new things, reluctant to explore other ideas, and ultimately you get crushed. So first you have to be a business person, and you have to understand that it's a learning process. Don't start a business and decide that you have a business and you're done. You constantly have to stay in the game. You constantly have to stay ahead of the curve. You constantly have to be learning, know what's happening in the market, be implementing, be gauging, be tracking, be marketing, be building brands, and be doing it. Be a student of business. Anything you are to do great, you have to be a student of it. And there's this fabulous story of that the coach, Michael Jordan coach, was asked, one of his coach was asked, what makes these guys different? Why is he an outlier? Why is he top of his game? And he said one thing that stood out to him is that at the end of each game, as a coach, you take to the players their stat sheets. Their stat sheets would consist of the amount of rebounds, the amount of points they scored, the amount of blocks, all the positives of their game. And when he took it to Michael Jordan the first time, Michael Jordan said, don't bring me the sheet. You're bringing me a sheet that's showing me what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. That is fine. Bring me the number of missed shots, the number of free throws I missed, the number of times turnover I had. Bring me all the things that I did wrong, because those are what I need to work on. He's a student of the game. He's learning. He wants to improve. That's how you do business. You want to learn, you want to improve, you want to go to webinars, you want to go to seminars, you want to go to workshops, you want to have mentors, you want to be learning, you want to be watching how other guys are doing their stuff, what is working for them, and you want to be modeling that. But a lot of small businesses are too steeped into the operational aspect of the business. They never stop, and that sucks their life. They never stop to look at the strategic management of the business. And as a result, they wake up one day and it's swept away from them because some other guy is taking a strategic look at their business. They're using systems and they're winning. So don't look at those statistics. Look at yourself as a business person. Is the business that you're going in scalable? Are you willing to do what it takes to learn business and to constantly stay a learner? And are you determined to figure it out, to stay at it, to stick with it, to reinvent, to adopt until you figure it out? Have a good day, guys. Hope I was able to bring some value and some perspective to it this morning. Have a great one. Thanks.